What's this? I know. I
What? Wait a minute. What is going on in here? What?
Do you remember the time when I was like, oh, I'm going to collect a bunch of Disney movies and buy them secondhand to stick to Disney, and then Nathan now collects them all because he's copying me? I do.
Wait, he's copying you by buying Disney movies?
Yeah.
What are you all doing in my house right now?
Not taking your Blu-rays. That's for darn
Why are
sure.
you? Well, first of all, why are you? Why are you here in Springfield?
This is an illusion.
Oh shoot. Well,
Who's got some cush pillows?
Dude.
Oh shoot.
Woo!
I want to do a video where we
Nice.
talk about Top Gun since Top Gun Maverick's coming out and this movie's amazing and we can be like all broed out for this.
I like this idea, especially with your pants. But I think we should just do a giant Criterion closet pick. What do you guys think?
Whoa! Me?
You haven't been in it, and
I don't
either
feel
of
worthy,
you.
but I can give it a shot.
Uh-oh, he's gone.
Dude, I'm taking the Steelbook. I don't own this movie. But
Well.
thank you. You're going to China? You don't
Yeah, I'm going to China. I don't need American films, right?
American films. I keep saying, are you gonna... I shouldn't make that joke. It's actually really inappropriate.
We're gonna have to cut that part out. All right, so let's just do a little pick. So
I like it.
Let's do a major one. All right, welcome to a special edition of the Criterion Closet Pick, the selection series. This one actually has 3 of my friends in it. As you saw, they broke into my place. I think I'm just gonna give them the camera time, and hopefully you enjoy their picks and their selections. I hope that they inspire you to watch all these movies, or at least check them out in some capacity. So here are all their picks, and here are all their selections. All right, Daniel, it's your first time.
It's my first time. Be gentle.
I will. Maybe.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm from the Cobwebs podcast. So
Check that out.
The theme for my picks today are going to be movies from directors that are very obscure that no one has ever heard of. So our first pick is going to be Rebecca by Alfred Hitchcock.
That's an uncommon name in the director and in the movie.
I know. No,
never heard of it.
but I'm like a real film fan, so I've heard of this guy. Not like all your viewers.
Oh, shoot.
Well, who is this guy?
I try to make a joke with Rebecca and Hitchcock that's kind of inappropriate, but I really can't think of anything.
I can't imagine what that is.
Well, this is Artastic Reviews right here. You may recognize this guy from his own YouTube channel.
Is that what it is now? Is it still considered a channel, or is it just a cry for help?
I think it's just a rivalry that we have.
Well, I don't have a rivalry with you anymore, Nathan.
It's with
John Flickinger.
It's with Flickinger.
See,
Flick pick.
people probably are wondering, like, no, they're not wondering. They don't care. But the reason why I beef with John is because he called me out once in an old video back in 2012. You can find it. Okay, he goes out and goes to pawn shops and makes a joke, and I think it's really offensive, and I take a lot of offense to it because it wasn't a funny joke. Not because what he was saying, but just the joke wasn't funny at all. And now forever, John is my rival on YouTube, and I will let him know consistently through Twitter and on my channel that we have beef.
Well, I'm glad it's just not me anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah,
I mean,
jokes on me. We're good. You can come here, I guess, and steal my stuff from China.
yeah, I mean, I already do already. There's a few Criterions you actually don't know that I've actually taken.
I have to check my spine numbers real quick.
Well, speaking of spine numbers, this is what I'm going to snag real quick. I'm going to take your copy of Hoop Dreams, which I've seen quite a few times, and I don't think I've actually talked about it yet. I know you did, but I feel like I can do better.
I didn't really talk about it much. My friend Doug did, actually.
Doug?
Yeah.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Well, this movie's I'll talk about it later, but I'll probably do like a quick drive-through review on mine. You know, kind of a light review on this since you've already covered it.
Swish.
Oh! Hey, didn't see you there. My name's Seth. I'm this guy's friend. He's behind the camera.
You recognize him from when we, you've been on the channel before.
I have.
Several times.
I did. I sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing, actually. But I was invited over here, and Cris brought it up, and I really wanted to talk about it, because it's my favorite from the Coen brothers. I know that's a hot take. Inside Llewyn Davis.
Ooh.
Oscar Isaac. Oscar snub, honestly. Amazing,
Oscar
very somber,
snub. Huh?
very great performances. It's, I don't know if the word or the phrase think piece is a phrase at all, but I would apply it to this because it really makes you think for a long time after you've seen it. I love that movie a lot. Do I pick another one right now?
We'll pick the second one in a second. Yeah.
Well, that's my pick. That's my first pick.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my second pick, we're going to pick another really obscure director. But this is one pick where I don't want to talk about the director for obvious reasons, but I really want to talk about the movie because this is a movie I love very, very much. And for this pick, and right now I'm just going to stall a little bit because I don't know where the movie is. You know what? I found it. We're going to be talking about Rosemary's Baby, classic 1960s horror film. That was a game changer.
It really was.
Yep. So that's my pick, and we're gonna talk about it pretty soon.
Where's that one?
Hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Well, I kind of want to watch Night of the Hunter again and talk about it, but you keep saying I should stop with that, so I won't pick that one.
I don't. Somebody in this room does.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Anyway, I said I was going to talk about Midnight Cowboy, but I changed my mind. We're going to talk about Tootsie instead.
Did you say Tootsie?
Tootsie.
That's definitely what you said.
Oh, well, you're going to have to
to.
cut that one for the younger viewers. But Dustin Hoffman, I want to talk about it. A Sidney Pollack film.
Sorry about the unintentional product placement. I thought about a few different things I wanted to talk about. I love Seven Samurai, 400 Blows, High and Low. Really good. It's been a while since I've seen it. Really, really loved it. But I was thinking more recently I watched Lady Snowblood. Honestly, where's that?
It's at the farther end.
Farther end.
You're almost there.
I'm almost there.
Apu trilogy next to that.
Lady Snowblood. Okay. Seen the first one, haven't seen the second one yet. I hear it's not as good. I've been really meaning to check it out just because I really, really enjoyed the first one. Really excited to talk about this. Obviously, it was a big influence on Kill Bill. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood released recently, so it's a good topic to talk about. Tarantino being influenced by this film. Great pick. Great pick.
Who talks first?
Talk first. I talk first.
Dude, okay,
tell.
wait. Listen to this movie concept idea, okay? I'm trademarking it. All right, Tootsie 2 Hoop Dreams, okay? Michael wants to go to the NBA, but instead dons his Dorothy persona, so then he goes into the WNBA as Tootsie. I think this could sell, especially today.
I listened to your idea.
Yeah.
Boys, what do you think?
It's about the title, not about the content, okay? Lady Snowblood inside Llewyn Davis.
Holy shoot!
Watch out! Coming to R-rated cinemas near you.
Dude, it's a midnight double.
It's a video nasty.
Oh,
Watch
no.
out.
Dude, it's at least as violent as most video nasties.
What's your dual pick?
He's the way inside.
My dual pick?
Yeah.
Movies about women oppressed by rich people.
Rebecca's Baby.
That'd be
Rebecca's
so
baby.
great.
That's right.
All right.
different person.
I guess since Daniel's visiting, you can go first.
Okay, well, first of all, welcome to the Nathan Jones YouTube channel. Unlike Nathan Jones, I am jonesing around, so there's a big difference there. So we're going to talk about Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca, which is, I mean, probably almost my favorite Hitchcock movie, probably right under Vertigo. But it is an incredible black and white thriller. If you want to talk about just like a really fun, pulpy, a little bit over the top, like just in like a really, really fun way, thriller, I think Rebecca is perfect for that. I love the performances, how they're really good, but they're heightened and to an unrealistic degree that's really fun. The stark black and white photography is amazing. And it's just one of these fun thrillers that just has constant twists and turns. It's just endlessly entertaining. So I'm a huge fan of Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca. Have you guys seen this one?
No.
I have, but I won't say
I'm a
anything.
criminal.
Shut up, Nathan. This is
Okay,
not your,
you're right.
this is not your video. We're jonesing around over here, okay? And yeah, that's my pick. I'm taking questions now.
Was it that or Notorious that was an out-of-print Criterion movie for a while? Was it maybe Notorious? The one where she's like hugging somebody?
I
Yeah.
think the non-Criterion Notorious
It's
was
Notorious.
out of print.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So
This is much better than Notorious.
yeah, that's a
it's
more
true.
recent. What's the spy number on that? 135. Wow, this is really cool.
Mm.
Might have to check out and give Hitchcock another chance.
It's a really fun thriller. Big fan. And it won Best Picture as well.
Whoa,
Yeah,
really?
it's one of my-
Deservingly so.
I made a list one time of my top Best Picture winners, and I think I put this at number 1.
Really?
But there's a lot of Best Picture winners I haven't
What
seen. to
year
be
was
honest.
that?
1940.
Well, you know, at the Hurtassi Reviews, I also did a top 5 Best Picture winners as well, and I definitely think you should check that movie video out.
Can you not talk about Hurtassi Reviews, please?
Plugging. My God.
Okay. What's up with your movies?
My movies, they're good. They're real good. Inside Llewyn Davis, I love this film, like I already said. Oscar Isaac is, I don't know if the word underrated is accurate, but maybe underlooked as an actor. He's in a lot of really good stuff. Not as much attention from the Academy, or even, I mean, in most award shows, really. Really great performance.
He's a workhorse too. Like he
is a
lot of
workhorse.
stuff.
He's in a lot of. Oh, I hold it up. Okay, I'm just being behind the camera. Sorry.
We're just bullying and talking about Oscar.
It's a movie that utilizes some actors in different ways you don't expect to. Justin Timberlake is pretty good in this movie. Yeah. I can't say I'm like a big fan of his acting repertoire. I don't hate it. I don't love it. He's just kind of there in the movie world, but he's good in this movie. He's not a bad guy. He's not like a great guy. He's not a jerk. He's just a guy. Oscar doesn't particularly like him, his character, but Oscar's character isn't the best guy. You care about what happens to him, but he just keeps making the wrong choices, and you want him to get better. But he doesn't want to get better for himself. I really loved the storyline in this movie a lot. I don't think Daniel's seen it, so I don't want to spoil it too much.
No, I haven't.
There's a lot of really great scenes where he can choose to do something about his life, but it's like a cycle of events in this movie that keeps playing back and forth. It's really good. I love Adam Driver in it. He's goofy.
John Goodman.
Michelle Williams.
Yeah,
Michelle Williams.
Yeah.
Adam Driver's so goofy in this movie. There's a song with him and Justin Timberlake.
It's so good.
Hey, Mr. Kennedy. Uh-oh.
And then he goes, outer space. And it's just seeing Kylo and Poe together. It's so funny.
It's good.
The Coen brothers really know how to direct a movie with this one. It's just like the color tone in it really stands out. And there's so many like long shots of just Oscar just looking defeated.
And the music, Oscar, all of it's him singing. I think it's live. Don't quote me on that. During the take, I could be wrong, but I know the Coen brothers wanted him to sing the music how he wanted to sing it. They didn't ask him to do it a certain way. They said, "Hey, this is the music we want you to sing. Some of it original, some of it not original." And the movie's kind of the era before Bob Dylan, kind of like the failing era of the genre he's trying to approach and how the music industry is changing a little bit. But his singing's amazing, like better than most professional singers I've heard, like legitimately. It's incredible. There's a lot of heart to it, a lot of emotion.
And not
really,
on Spotify.
A lot of it's not on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy. Really good, really great stuff.
Boycott Spotify.
Boycott Spotify.
Yeah.
Premium. Yeah.
I picked up Dustin Hoffman's Tootsie, and the reason I picked it was I like Tootsie, but I know recently it was Dustin Hoffman's birthday, and I really like Dustin Hoffman as an actor. I can't say as a person, but this is the most recent movie I saw him in, so that's why I picked it. I would say one of my favorite performances from him. You could say in The Graduate and stuff like that, but I should have picked up Midnight Cowboy to talk about it more, because I like that movie more, because I think Dustin Hoffman really directs his ass off. But in this movie, too, it's just kind of more fun. I think it has a lot more deeper things to say about the times, because this was in the 80s, 82. And I think Dustin wasn't the best person for that character when it comes to like what Sidney Pollack was trying to say about the time, but I think he still delivers a very good performance. But when you think of like Dustin Hoffman, just how crazy he was, like off the set. And didn't you say one time he like refused to do something on a script?
Yeah, the director asked him to get a flashlight from the drawer and walk out of the room, and he refused. He said, "My character would not have a flashlight in his drawer. I refuse to do this scene." And they fought for like hours about it, hours. Yeah. But he's a hard ass.
Yeah, he's a little loony, but I do really like Dustin Hoffman. In this movie, he's just really fun. But I also really love Bill Murray in this movie. Bill Murray is like, besides you two, he's like one of the best roommates you'll ever want. He's super supportive. He's a super supportive guy.
Bill Murray in general.
Yeah, I love, and he's a Chicago guy too, and I love Bill Murray. So he's a super supportive guy, and he's really supporting this crazy idea that Michael Dorsey, Dustin Hoffman's character, has to. He's a kind of a blacklisted actor in New York because he's hard to work with. Kind of saying something about Dustin, and he decides to dress up as a woman and take this prominent female role that really riles up a lot of women in New York City on a daytime show, and it's kind of fun. So that's all I really have to say about this movie. I just wanted to pick it up and kind of talk about Dustin a little bit. So,
do you think Bill Murray is going to pop up in the new Zombieland?
I hope he does. I really do. He was just in The Dead Don't Die, so maybe he's all zombie out for the year.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, I guess it's my turn. So I'm going to talk about Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby, which is a horror film from 1968. Kind of a cult horror film, kind of a satanic horror film, which are two subgenres that I'm a big fan of. It's funny to think about this when you consider who directed it. I think we all know the stories about Roman Polanski. But it is a profoundly feminist horror movie back in the late 1960s, which is impressive because it's this movie about this woman who is constantly confronted by all this crazy stuff from the people around her, and everyone's conspiring against her, and no one will take her seriously when she voices all of her concerns. She's really just used as a pack mule to hold this baby inside of her, and that's kind of all her worth that the people put on her around her. And it's a movie that has so much to say, but beyond all that intellectual stuff. So I'm a horror boy. It's kind of my thing. I watch a lot of horror movies, and I'm not easily scared by horror movies because I've just seen it all. But this movie's scary. I watched it last year, like it legitimately creeped me out, and I watched it alone in the dark, and I was scared. So it's a movie that works on a visceral level in the way that it should work, still to this day. It's scary, the dialogue is amazing, it's maybe one of the best directed movies I've ever seen. And I would say, especially if you like Ari Aster, and you like what he's doing with Hereditary and Midsommar, you owe it to yourself to see Rosemary's Baby, because it's kind of the kind of thing that he does, done to the best possible way. And I did listen to an interview with him recently, and he said that this is the #1 movie he would want Hereditary compared to.
Ari said that?
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Awesome movie, and I love it so much, and I want to watch it again right now, so I have to go.
Uh-oh.
No,
I need to watch that then, to compare it to Repulsion then, because that's the only other one I've seen. And I know that's part of, like we were talking about that earlier today, about the Suburban Nightmare trilogy. That's cool.
I do need to voice a complaint about this movie, though. Okay, Mia Farrow and John Cassavetes are a young married couple. He is an actor. She is a stay-at-home wife. And they have this beautiful apartment in New York City. That's not happening. They do not have the money for that.
Drugs.
Especially with the movies John Cassavetes was directing at the time. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to another Criterion.
But that's my pick. And I urge everyone to check it out if you haven't.
What'd you pick up, bud?
Lady Snowblood. The first one, like I said, I haven't seen the second one. I know I'm awful. But I really, really love this movie. It is greatly inspired a lot of movies, especially Kill Bill. It's just a classic revenge tale. I really like it. The main character is interesting to say because she is basically the spawn. I don't want to say the child of a family that had a huge wrongdoing happen to them. Her family was what?
I don't know. Nathan's making faces at me.
Okay. Her family, I won't get into details. Her family was massacred unjustly, and her mom attempts to have a child. She sleeps with a lot of just random people to have a child to birth a spirit of vengeance to get revenge against the people that like killed her husband, ruined her life, ruined her family. And then the main character, I didn't want to butcher the names at all. Maiko Kaji. Sorry if I got that wrong. She's very much this emotionless character that has these cracks throughout the story that you can really tell there's humanity left in her. She doesn't say there is, she doesn't want to like acknowledge that there is, but there really is, and you start to like her a lot. And throughout the film, which is something I didn't see as much in the Kill Bill films, is that she creates this really strong bond with another character in the film. He's a writer, and he's like developing this tale about her, the protagonist, and they have a really good bond. And on top of that, it's just this kick-ass, really bloody, really well choreographed, really well shot, hack and slash revenge like classic. It's really fun. I really like it. Some of the confrontations, especially the final confrontation, one of them with this lady, really nuts. And the villains themselves are just awful, sadistic psychopaths, and it just makes for a really fun bloodshed. I really, really, really like it. I highly recommend it.
I was there when you first started watching it.
Yeah.
And that opening it looked like a Tarantino open title card, too.
I will say, I did not expect Kill Bill to be so directly inspired. It's almost like, the story is almost the same in so many aspects.
With a really cool Japanese music.
Yeah, the music's very similar. A lot of the shots are similar. The protagonists and the storylines are a bit different, but it's a revenge tale all the same. But very much inspired by it. But I love both so much.
It does kind of bum me out that I feel like the conversation around this movie has gotten so drowned by Kill Bill. And it's like, if you talk about this movie, people are just like, oh yeah, the Kill Bill movie. But it's its own movie that was made way before that.
Because it's before Kill Bill, and Kill Bill wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this movie.
Yeah.
And I would feel like they've inspired, it's inspired a lot more movies than just Kill Bill. I think Kill Bill has inspired movies beyond that. which would all be thanks to this film right here.
It's crazy like how a lot of Eastern films really influence a lot of great Western pictures, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Hidden
Samurai,
Fortress,
you know.
Game, Throne of Blood, like with George Lucas and all that stuff, too.
Yep.
That's
Because
crazy.
people who make movies love movies, and
Yeah.
they just watch so many movies from around the world, and they pick and choose what they want and get
Yeah.
influenced, and that's how art works.
Anyway, speaking of art, I picked a documentary movie, which I was really happy. I only found out this was in the Criterion about a year ago, and I was so happy to hear about it, but it's called Hoop Dreams. I think, Nathan, you've talked about it on your channel before. I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times now in my life. It's an extremely long documentary. It's 172 minutes long, but I saw it once. I think I just rented it because, you know, being in Northern Illinois, like things about Chicago, you hear about those like stories. So the movie was very, you know, popular, and I rented it 2 more times because I just really liked it. But the story is about 2 real life people, Arthur Adjie and William Gates, I believe. They're both inner city kids from Chicago in the 90s, and during the 90s in Chicago, the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan was literally God. Like, it was like worship, the murals on the walls, it was like a big deal. Even today in Northern Illinois, you go to Chicago, I mean, there's statues of him everywhere. So this movie is really trying to capture, because in 1994, Jordan, I think, had just retired, so who was going to be in the NBA? Well, most of the talent in the NBA, even today, comes from Chicago. And, you know, playing basketball growing up and stuff like that, you knew about that stuff. But this movie is a very well-made documentary about these 2 really poor kids in really crappy situations, poor, broken families. And these 2 guys, they're high schoolers. They just finished middle school, and it chronicles their entire story from freshman year of high school all the way to their collegiate careers. And you go through every nitty-gritty moment in their lives, which I feel kind of sad for, because they must have felt embarrassed. Like, Arthur Adjie, his dad was in and out of the movie because in real life, his dad was in and out of his life. And there's a part in the movie that really kind of was sad where, like, just the documentarian who was talking was just saying, Arthur Adjie's father, Arthur Adjie Sr., you know, left the house, but then broke into their house to steal from them a couple weeks later, and then was found and arrested. And then they show an interview with him when he was arrested. And I thought it was really interesting to see, like, this is the very everyday struggle a lot of these people have to handle. And I've seen it, other people I know have seen it, but you really kind of get inspired in watching this movie, because at the end of the day, you're wondering, do these people make it? Like, do they make it out of this situation? And ultimately, you've never heard of them until you've seen this movie, so you know they didn't. But they got as close as they can. I think William Gates' story is a little more relevant because he was the more mature of the 2. Arthur Adjie was more of an immature kid who got a better opportunity. He got into a private high school to play basketball, where Isaiah Thomas got to go play basketball and became an NBA Hall of Famer. And then he kind of blows that, and you have to watch him struggle, mostly with his father issues. And then William Gates just is a soft kid who doesn't really mingle well with, like, the hard knocks Chicago guys. So, I don't know. I think it's just a very... I don't think we talk about a lot of, like, documentaries and stuff like that in the channel. On the channel.
Are you adding Nathan right now?
At the,
This idiot doesn't watch documentaries.
True, I don't.
No, I think this on this channel. I think he's talked about. He did a really good review on this movie, and I'm not saying everyone needs to see this movie, but I know, like, this movie has a real strong influence. I know I don't ever talk about it mostly because you guys aren't sports guys, but
I played kickball and we're
yeah,
just nerds.
you know,
It's
no,
true, we did.
You know what? I think this movie does have a huge impact in me, and I really like documentaries, sports documentaries, and just this one has always hit home for me. So, I don't know. Hoop Dreams is awesome.
Yeah, I've never seen it, and I have a hard time imagining myself watching a documentary about sports, but I hear people talk about this movie all the time, like way beyond you,
Oh,
and
yeah.
gosh, maybe I should watch it.
I mean, everyone loves a good underdog story.
That's true.
I'm not a big sports guy. I grew up in kind of a sports family, but
Yeah.
I love stuff like Friday Night Lights. I love the show.
This is, when you say Friday Night Lights, this is like kind of like it, where it's tackling all the stuff off the field, but when you
yeah,
get the
and it
stuff,
seems very personal from the start,
Yeah.
high school and beyond.
Yeah. I would say this is more Hard Knocks, though, 100%, but
yeah.
Friday Night Lights is a good comparison.
Even if it's about sports, it's more about the people, if
Yeah.
anything, which I think everyone can get on board with.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, I don't really like people.
Now, people did kind of suck. Yeah.
Sadly, no Bill Murray in this
No
movie.
Bill Murray,
in Chicago.
okay,
So,
okay.
I don't know. I just
Oh,
like
man.
movies
The
with
Space
people
Jam.
from Chicago or about Chicago or just near the hometown. I just always kind of like them a little bit more.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Well, that's our picks.
Those are the
The
picks.
Nathan Jones YouTube channel.
Yeah, don't forget to Patreon. My idea for Tootsie 2
Dude, hit that Indiegogo, hit that like,
Yeah.
subscribe.
No, but seriously though, whenever this video does get uploaded, Daniel and I did a podcast for Cobwebs. I thought it was really solid. Nathan has done something with him already. Check that out too.
Yeah, the episode of the podcast we just did, we talk about 3 horror films that are in the Criterion collection.
Yep.
So if you like Criterion, you probably like that
And we
episode.
talked about technically both their movies. We talked about Polanski's Rosemary's Baby a little bit. No, that was after the podcast. Sorry, but we did
Okay,
talk
I was
about,
like, I don't remember that.
We did talk about Hitchcock though.
Oh, sure. How can you not talk about Hitchcock when you're talking about movies, I guess.
I like blues.
Anyway, my name is Daniel Epler. You can follow me on Twitter at EplerDaniel and subscribe to Nathan Jones. And I am jonesing around.
And you can check me out at Hertastic Reviews. You can follow me on Twitter where I'm adding the flick pick. And you can watch my Liddy's video where I have an update on what you'd like to see on the channel. I've got some good feedback.
Well, you can't follow me on YouTube, but you can follow me in real life. I live at this guy's house, so watch
Also,
out.
Seth Garrett Photography.
Don't follow too close.
Seth Garrett Photography.
I'm behind the camera more often.